The broadcast is live. And so maybe, yeah. Okay.
Hello, Savannah. Hello, Savannah. I'm Keisha Gibson Carter coming to you live on Candidly Kesha. Tonight, we will be talking to some local coaches with the Savannah Coalition of Youth Leaders. We are so excited for them to make some breaking news announcements today. We're so proud of their intrepid work that they do tirelessly year after year, all season long, basketball, football, cheering, to undergird the most precious resource we have in our community, and that is our youth. We also, after we talk to our coaches, y'all tune in. I have some more breaking news of some Gold Dome Chronicles. Very soon, very soon, the Lord is going to bless, and it won't always be bad news, y'all. I am convinced that our labor will not be in vain. This is by far the hardest job I have ever had. Slaying demons. There's no degree in it. There's no training for it. You are assigned to it. And I'm grateful for this assignment, and we're going to make good on it. But without further ado, I want to do a bit of a round robin, and I'm going to go in the order of which I see you on screen, which may be a little bit different from how you all are presented on your end. But without further ado, I want to hear from Mr. Todd Rhodes. I want each of you to introduce yourselves, tell me who you are, who you coach for, what you've been doing, why you do what you do. And then we're just going to have a conversation about today's events at the Gold Dome. Todd?
Hello, everybody. My name is Todd Anthony Rhodes Jr. I'm the junior, not the senior. The senior is my father, who is a former police officer with Savannah Chatham Metro. But listen, I love what I do. I'm a president of a youth organization called the Savannah Royal Alliance Youth Organization. We've been founded since 2014. My heart and my passion is kids in Savannah Chatham. It's youth. I love you. I love you so much that me and my wife have 10 kids. I'm gonna say that one more time. I love you so much that me and my wife have 10 kids, 8 boys and 2 girls.
I
So
don't
I
know that
love
much.
I love kids. Look, listen, I just it's my calling. It's in me. It's my passion to be to help out every need of in this city when it comes down to our youth. Our youth has been very mistreated over the years, and it's time for a new approach. Just like I said a little bit early on today, I said, you know, before we had Blockbuster Video. Now we have what? We have Amazon, we have Hulu, we have what else? We have Netflix, all this stuff. So things change with time. So guess what? For our kids, the recreation in this city and this county, it needs to change as well. So I thank God for the opportunity of not just myself, but also being surrounded by a loving, supportive family, friends, and a collective of different people, leaders like yourself, Miss Keisha, and others. I don't want to leave nobody out, but thank you for molding and motivating and setting fire, because it's like a fire. How they say, it's like a fire shut up in my bones. That's how
Yes.
it is for me every day when it comes down to our youth in the city.
Well, and you're doing what you love right now. And this is a testament to your dedication to your kids. I think you and Coach C, it sounds like you both are on the field. And I just want to say, Coach Rhodes, I think I've heard you say that you had 10 kids, but I thought you meant you were like you had 10 kids on your team. You had 10 kids you mentored in addition to your maybe 2 or 3 children, but you and your wife have 10 biological children.
10, 8 boys and 2 girls. We have one set of twins. So we've
Have
been
y'all
busy.
have y'all ever heard of cable TV? Listen, and you don't look a day over. You don't look like you're old enough to have children, sir. Well, kudos to you and all that you do. And so you were very instrumental in getting us to the table. This all started essentially with a social media post. You know, oftentimes people say social media is not the news. Well, I'll tell you today in Savannah, Georgia, social media is the only news we can actually rely on when it comes to framing a narrative in a way in which it is going to benefit our people and benefit those who really matter in our community, who are not a part of the establishment and the status quo. And so it was a post, a social media post that acknowledged and I would say it was by Coach Loho, who's very, very passionate, another passionate coach who's dedicated to our community. And he was frustrated, he was aggravated, and he was angry at the lack of services and resources and outreach to our youth in our community with regard to recreation, specifically Little League football, from access to the fields to equipment, transportation, all of those pieces. And so the post was all encompassing, sort of grouping counsel together, which the media often does. And so I just picked up the phone. Usually when somebody posts something that I don't feel is the nicest thing to post on social media, I don't go back and forth in an exchange unless I think it's going to help somebody else. I pick up the phone and I have a conversation. And that's what I did with Coach Loho. And fortunately, he reciprocated that in that phone call where we had an exchange, and basically he acknowledged his frustration and anger, and he understood what it looked like when you group the entire council. When you say city council doesn't do a damn thing for the kids, well, you know what? Guess what? We haven't. We absolutely haven't. There is nothing this administration did except hold up a trophy at our second meeting, I believe, and like welcomed you all to City Hall. It was nothing after that, right? In fact, the actions of this council hurt our athletics among youth more than it helped. And so I heard him and I said to him, you know, there are at least 2 other people on council and myself who have been advocating for our vulnerable communities, advocating for our youth and recreation. Alderwoman Blakely and Alderwoman Lanier and we have been fighting for it, but we're in the minority. And so that led to a couple of community meetings. And from those community meetings, I just said, listen, guys, you are who we need at City Hall. You represent what we don't have at City Hall. And that is real men who will stand up. Real men who know how to treat children and who know how to treat women. I made a plea and I took them through the process of how we work at City Hall, how the millions of dollars that get spent from month to month. And as I stated to you today, we don't just spend money once a month. We have 2 meetings a month. We spend a whole bunch of money twice a month in Savannah. And none of that was representative of what you all did. So you all got together, you put your heads together, and you crafted a narrative. You told a story. You painted a picture. And you actually proposed an initiative where you are saying in 3 to 5 years, via these programs and these recreational opportunities, we will help substantially reduce gun violence among our youth and homicide in our community if we can engage in this work. And Coach C, what is some of that work?
Good evening. How you folks doing tonight?
Good. And tell us who you are first.
My name is Amon Coach C. Crawford. I am the founder and president of the Southwest Georgetown Youth Organization, located out here in the beautiful Georgetown area of Savannah. I've been coaching now for about 15 years. I started out with the Liberty City Vikings, and then I was the co-founder of the Savannah Eagles. And living out here in this area, I noticed that we didn't have any youth programs out here in this area. So I believe in you see a need, you fix a need. So back in 2007, my son and myself, we were the only two, and we started the Southwest Georgetown Youth Organization. We do primarily, what we're trying to do is to give back to these children. I grew up in a youth program myself. I'm probably getting ready to tell my age, but I played for the Forsyth Flames. I'm talking about the first Forsyth Flames. When we used to wear trash bags, run around the tree to drop that weight.
Oh, wow.
I'm talking about, I'm getting ready to tell my age. I'm talking about 40 years ago. When I was 5 years old, when I was 6 years old. So I did the same thing at the age that I'm coaching at now.
Wow.
I actually got into coaching because of my son. When he turned 5, he said he wanted to play, and I took him out there. And usually it's strange, but if you're a male out there, they don't look at you as a father. You're a coach because you hardly have fathers. You have 90 mothers, maybe 1 or 2 fathers. But any male out there was a coach. But I was actually out there as a father. But being out there, one of the coaches walked up to me and asked me, did I want to coach? And from there, like they said, the rest is history. And I've been doing it now, like I said, almost 15 years. Matter of fact, Todd and I, we've been knowing each other for years. I know where he started at. He know where I started at. And it seems like we always come back full circle. One thing about it is we might argue on the sideline at them games, but after we come, it's all love. I respect him, and I hope he had the same respect for me. One thing I want to do, I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to make the presentation that we did earlier today. We've been in this fight trying to get this stuff done for at least the last 7 years. We brought proposals to other administrations that didn't do anything. So the point that we are now is just miles and miles and miles above what we've accomplished in the past. And I want to sit here and personally thank you for opening up that door and giving us that opportunity. Not only that, but recognize what we actually go through. Sometimes you're just not a coach. A coach just not out here on the field or at a basketball game on the sideline. We pick these kids up. We go to school. We feed them. We get phone calls 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning because little Johnny is acting up and he just need to hear that coach's voice. So it's more to it. Matter of fact, like I said earlier, we pay to be coaches. We don't get paid. We pay to be a coach. You got to pay for this job. This is the only job you have to pay into. And I'm talking about monetarily. You have to pay into this job because it costs to be a coach. It really does. But like I said, I just want to thank you and appreciate you for giving us the little bit of light that we do have, that you shine on us and make us as bright as we are. And I greatly appreciate you for that.
Well, we're grateful to you. And as I stated to Ms. Martin today, as we were talking, and she serves as y'all's scribe, administrator, the glue that holds it all. It always takes a woman in the bunch, right? It always takes a woman to hold it all together. And I said to her, and as much as I appreciate those sentiments, and I said to you all from the very beginning, this is my job, right? I work for you. And so this is my reasonable service. And as my reasonable service, we pass that gratefulness on and say thanks to our city manager for opening the door and being the first city manager to actually sit at the table with our local Little League coaches and listen and listen. And he got an earful today from the history lesson where Dr. Teray took us to school to the deficiencies in our local government shared by former Commissioner Jay Jones, and from each of you in terms of how it is that you reach and teach youth, recognizing that it is because of you and because of your work and because of your platforms that we enjoy moderate semblance of success with our youth when it comes to their safety. And I am inclined to acknowledge once again, and I've said this before, it isn't so much our youth who are committing crime than it is the structure of our community and the failure of previous administrations to enact policies that create the criminal element that suck the life out of our families and suck the children from those families into this world of crime. So we have a huge responsibility. And for me, that responsibility started with just sitting and listening to you all. And it doesn't take rocket science to see that the only way you reach children is to start where they are. I said earlier, it is unfortunate. Most of the deaths that have occurred on the streets of Savannah to date represent African American males between the ages of 14 and 23 years old. It's the same statistic in the previous year, the year before that, and the year before that. This year, in a pandemic, we have created almost every emergency known to man. We're giving away free vaccines. We're giving away free masks. We're giving away free COVID tests. We have created all of these mandates and these ordinances and passed these rules and these laws because of the epidemic related to the number of lives lost. I submit to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that I would imagine we have lost more African American men between the ages of 15 and 23 years old to gun violence than we have COVID. Where's their emergency support? Let that sink in. Where's their free service? Where's the intent? Where's the sense of urgency? Where's the press release, the press conference? Where's the weekly update on saving the lives of a Black man? There is none. Where's the task force? There is none. You know why? Because we as a society, as a people, have become desensitized of the notion, the word, or the sight of a Black man dying. We continue to wash dishes. We continue to watch TV. We continue to go on about our merry way when listening to the news or scrolling on our phones and just, oh, there's another one. But no, I never tire of hearing it. It doesn't make me desensitized. It makes me cry. It makes me weary. But you all, you are offering hope. You are offering hope. And you are doing it in such a natural way. In addition, you're doing it in a way where communities do this and they experience far more harmony in community than we do when it comes to our youth. Ms. Anthony, tell us about some of those communities and the work that you're doing here in Savannah have done. And I think you got a lot of kids too, don't you?
I'm right there on Coach Todd. Well, hello everyone. I'm Anthony Martin. But before I introduce myself, I am a mother of 5. So I have 5 children. Fortunately, I was able to raise a 22-year-old, a 17-year-old who is still alive. And I say that with all the grace and mercy that God covers my children, because I pray every day they leave the house. 11-year-old and 2 5-year-olds. But before I introduce myself, I want to let y'all know that there are resources out here for mothers, fathers, and parents just like me that are offered by Miss Tony Grant. Um, I'll start off by saying this. The United Youth Leaders of Savannah is not nothing new. It's a program that me and my children's father, David Gibson, had generated when we were in despair uh, about 2014 or earlier. And we were in despair about not being united as youth leaders and having too much competition and not enough unity in our community. When we started that program, unfortunately, it was not successful due to the division between the city and the county. And this is just being transparent. Now we have, thanks to you, Alderwoman Keisha Gibson Carter, thank you so much. We have more resources, we have more unity, we have a voice now we didn't have before. And we also have a hotline called 1-888 YO, that's YO Sport, SPORT, and that is for any families that are able to call in and state your needs, ask for resources, things that we can handle. We're not saying it is a crisis hotline at this time, but we have Miss Tony Grant here who is assisting in mental health support. Therefore,
That
I
is
would like to give her the honor because we're here for everything. And thank you, Coach Todd, Coach C, the Savannah Coalition, who we are, and Tony Grant, thank you for joining the coalition. We appreciate you, along with Nada. And Jay Jones should be joining us shortly. Thank you, Alderwoman Gibson Carter, and Alderwoman and take.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, so we're going to go to Miss Grant. But thank you for acknowledging Alderwoman Miller Blakely. She has been very instrumental in getting us here to this place, and we're grateful for her support as well as Alderwoman Lanier. And just we are looking forward to getting this over the hump. I said to Coach C after the meeting today with Mr. Melder that we were on first base. And I said after my meeting with him today, we had a subsequent meeting at 3. Our meeting was at 8:30 this morning with you all. I said, we're going to be on third base when we have our 3 o'clock meeting. And so he said, who's going to hit us home? I don't know anything about inside or outside baseball, Miss Grant, but I said to him, the only person who could hit us home is Jesus. Jesus is going to hit us home. Jesus is going to hit us home because we do not want politics to enter in. And I want to say this. This is not about politics. This is not about who gets the credit for what. We just want the work done. We just want the work done. But we did want to give you all the opportunity to have a platform so that we can celebrate you and celebrate your tenacity and your stick-to-itness in terms of not giving up on your local government and holding us accountable. Guys, we ask for you to go to the ballot box and to vote for us. We tell you about how Black Lives Matter, Black voters matter. We say all of those things, but then we get in these seats and get amnesia. And so we need, after we mobilize you, after we engage you, we need you to double back. Follow us week to week, month to month. Look at the city council meeting, your county commission meeting, your school board meetings. Follow the 40 days we have at the Georgia General Assembly. Get involved, get connected. And what you all have done, you have been unique in recognizing that you can't do it all. So you have reached out and asked for help and support, and you've done it in our counseling community, and you found Miss Grant. Miss Grant, tell us about your work. And Miss Grant, are you the one that's my former student too?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I am.
I got one on the brain, but I thought that was you. So
Yes.
listen, it's good to know that my good is in circulation, ma'am.
Yes.
Tell us about your work with the leagues, as well as your work as a professional, and a little bit about yourself as well, and how people can access your services.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tony Grant. I am a native, born and raised in Savannah, Georgia. I am a mother of 4 beautiful daughters and 1 son. I have 6 awesome grandkids. So I am busy in the community. Um, I really got into the little league aspect when my son was, I think he was like either 4 or 5. I am affiliated with the Savannah Royal Lions for many, many years. Thanks to Coach Todd. He's been a valuable asset to my family, especially my son. He has been there with some very, very trying times. Although my son was out of the age range, him and his family still stuck beside us. And I appreciate them for that. I am the founder and CEO of Grant Enterprise LLC. Grant Enterprise LLC, I am a mental health paraprofessional, licensed mental health paraprofessional in Georgia. And what I do is I provide coaching and coping strategies to individuals, families, groups of all ethnics, nationalities, it doesn't matter. I provide mental health services to everyone in the community. Um, I'm also certified as a CPI in CPI, which that basically means I use nonviolent intervention techniques to help that can de-escalate a situation. In my current position, I have a caseload in the community where I serve in Bryan, Bullock, Chatham, Effingham, and Liberty County. So I'm all over the surrounding areas, helping families, helping kids, helping groups. And I joined this group just to provide services to everyone because we all have mental health issues, whether we want to believe it or not. Um, and Todd reached out to me when the incident happened at the Jennifer Ross complex. He was like, "Hey, I need you to come out, and whatever it was, it didn't matter. Just the fact that he called and said, "Hey, I need your assistance. Whatever I can do, just let me know. I don't care." So I'm glad that he did think about me, and I'm glad that Grant Enterprise LLC is in the position to help everyone in the community. If you need services with Grant Enterprise, my contact number is 912-307-9542, or I can be reached via email info@grantenterprise.net. And I'll put that up in the chat box in case anyone needs services. Like I said, I'm available to any and everyone who needs me.
I would imagine with as many youth that we have, that you all can use all of the support you can get. So are you open to have volunteer counselors join the effort to man this resource line for youth? And this essentially serves as a connection to someone just to talk to, or a referral base, if you will. And again, that hotline number is 888-YOSPORT, 888-YOSPORT. Tell us, Ms. Grant, if there's a counselor out there who wants to join you and Ms. Martin, how they can get involved.
They just reach out to Miss Martin or I at the 888-YOSPORT. Let us know what it is that you want to do. We'll be happy to have you to assist us. It is we have a big community. We have a large number of youth in our community, and 1-2 people can't do it alone. We need help. We're always open to having others join us to help us out and assist us.
Well, thank you so much for volunteering and dedicating your time and responding to the call. And we want to say, because we have mentioned it here tonight, that our hearts go out to the family of the individual who lost his life at the Jennifer Ross complex. And we want to acknowledge to all parents and individuals who have lost youth at the hands of gun violence in our community, and just say that it's too little too late where the city is concerned, but we're here, we're pressing, and we're doing the best we can. Um, Coach C introduced the MOA, Memorandum of Agreement, that was established between the county and the city over 20 years ago. It's been a struggle. And I said to the city manager today, the one thing that uh, frustrates me and breaks my heart is that for everything we need for vulnerable communities or for Black people and poor white people in our community, we have to fight for it. But as I stated to you all today, the resources that you all are asking for to be returned to you, you're not asking for a handout. You're just simply asking for a portion of your tax dollars to be returned to the community so that you can return an investment by saving lives. I tripped over half of it walking into City Hall. That's just how much money we throw away. And I flushed the other half of it down the toilet before I left City Hall. That's just how much money we waste at City Hall, right? And so there's no compromising. We do not want incremental anything. We want it, and we want it now. No more lip service, no more maneuvering, no more political maneuvering, no more holding people off for a little while. We don't need you running to another crime scene to console a family. We need you to do what you need to do now to save somebody's child, right? That's what we need to happen right now. And so before we left the meeting with Mr. Melder today, I want to say to you all that he stated after the meeting with you, he was so moved and so inspired that he had found another $1 million to dedicate to recreation in our city.
Praise God.
Oh,
Congratulations.
so that's $2 million now. So that's $2 million, Keisha.
Yes. So what we want to do is we want to celebrate this victory, but we also want to keep our eye on it.
Right.
We also want to keep our eye on it. We want to keep our eye on it now that it's been said. We want to keep our eye on it when it gets on paper. But once it gets on paper, what I want to see is a timeline. Because as I stated to you, Coach C, we do not want to wait until the next quarter for something. Those things on that list that you submitted that are 30-day non-negotiables,
You're right.
30-day non-negotiables that are consistent with transportation, access to the fields, and equipment, that's going to happen, sir. And it's going to happen expeditiously. Because if the mayor can unilaterally spend $83,000 to renovate his office without approval, oh yeah, that was the breaking Gold Dome Chronicles.
Yes, ma'am. Wow.
Before we get into that, yeah, we so that same energy, the same energy that was used to kind of slide that on in and slide that to the side. I need that same energy, as the young people can say. I only have 3 kids, y'all, but I learned a lot from them. We got cable TV after the 3rd one. Now better get some cable TV. The same energy used to kind of turn the other way or to find.
Well, I only have 2.
Well, you cancel your cable subscription so you can catch up. Cancel your subscription so you can catch up, sir. Yeah. So we want that same energy, that same effort, that same intent when it comes to getting that proposal approved. And again, we want to say thank you to Mr. Melder. Unfortunately, y'all, we didn't have any money for the honeymoon. We just got married, and we'll have to take our honeymoon later. He is baptized by fire. And I like the young man. I don't like politics. I don't like games, and I don't like lies. So let's pray that he can stay even and not give Savannah what she wants, but give Savannah what she needs and what she's due. I do want to say and make an announcement before I forget to all of our neighborhood association presidents. The city manager will be hosting a meeting with all of our neighborhood association presidents at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. So call his office, get registered so that they can keep a head count so that we can be in compliance with all of the COVID restrictions, so forth and so on. We have one other person on who I haven't talked to. And I don't know if you can show your face or if you have anything to say, you want to introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Niway. Excuse my camera being off. I was not prepared to be on live tonight, so excuse me.
Okay, okay.
I thought it was a voice conference meeting or whatnot. I'm coming from the perspective of a sports mom. Every entity that is here now, the coaches, Miss Antonise and Miss Grant, especially with her uh, mental health resources that she has. That's one thing in the Black community that we really don't shed light on. That is needed, and that I've recently myself. I have 4 children. Um, myself has said that, hey, these kids need some, you know, mental health, to be addressed or whatnot, because they're not always going to come to the parent and be 100% honest with what's going on with them. To relate with the deaths upon Black men, I'm a paramedic in Chatham County, and I've witnessed plenty of Black male deaths by way of gunshot. Throughout my career, I've been on the ambulance for 10 years here. Um, so coming from a mother's perspective with the sports, um, with coaching and along with being a team mom, the needs that are there are a lot of mothers that may have to work, a lot of single family households, to where kids can't get to practice or they can't get to games or, just needing monetary support for our children, whether it's by way of special training to help train them up in the talents that they already possess, and getting them, more inclined into the sport that it is. It does take them away from an environment. It was an 8-year-old child that came to me and said, well, I just want to be a kid, and that just broke me down. He's like, I want to play, but I just want to be a kid. So the stressors from his household and his life, um, is on him at 8 years old,
Mm-hmm.
to where he just wants to be involved in the activity to where he can free himself and be a child. So we need to have a conducive environment for that for our children, as well. Um, as far as getting funds to help us allocate, push forward in that. Um, like you mentioned, Ms. Carter, um, equipment, transportation, um, programs, alongside with that. It's more than just coaching. It's more than just a sport. It's actually a community, and it takes a village. We have to get the village back together to get our children, especially our young Black teens, back online to where it is that they need to be. So I know it's a lot of teen moms like myself that see about other team players. We'll take the kids home with us, or we'll keep them on the weekend, or we'll take them out when we see what they're lacking in the household. And that comes out of our pocket as well. If we're going bowling or we're going, out to have family night or whatever the case may be, we'll take these young children to where their family is deprived of that, and out of our pocket as well. So I think that if we pour into our youth the way that we should, and it's going to take money to do that, that we will have a more successful generation coming up.
And you said something that was very key when you stated the kid just wanted to be a kid. And when I heard that, I thought about one thing that is so apparent in our city and probably across the nation. It's very difficult for kids just to be kids in this day and time, especially when they live in communities when their parents are working low wage jobs. They are oftentimes left at home alone because the parent has to work a second job. And that second job takes them out of the home for an extended period of time, leaving the older children to sort of take care of the younger kids. And so you do not have the luxury of just being free to just be a child. And so the extra added stress of all that school brings, and not to mention the extra added physiological stress that's going on in your body, as you're starting to change. And I think we fail to recognize how these pressures play on the psyche of our children and preclude them from becoming good decision makers. And we do have those outliers where those dynamics actually help us become exceptional adults, right? In some regard. But too much of the latter is the case. When we have youth who are not able to successfully engage in society due to their home life. And that's why the respite of team life and youth sports is so important in community. So much so that you have millions of dollars being spent in communities all over the nation. I do want to say that via the executive order of President Biden, the ARPA funds, American Relief Protection Act funds, some of our support will be coming from that. Now, here's what I want to say to you all. I talk a lot about citizen engagement. When I ran, I recently viewed one of our campaign debate videos, which was hysterical. It was the one out at Windsor Forest. Whew, that was fun. Oh, Jesus. No more campaign trails, Lord. Listen, but I was so moved that a lot of what I stated on the campaign trail, in as much as I feel like it's been an uphill battle and a struggle to just check a box and get something done, advocate, serve, and lead. I stated that as the advocate, I would speak up and speak out for our citizens, particularly those who couldn't speak for themselves. As a servant, you saw me doing double duty and they heard me because I forgot to mute my phone. I would make myself accessible. And that accessibility wouldn't just be attending meetings at City Hall, but that accessibility would be in your neighborhoods. Like when we met at the church, when we met on the field, when I'm meeting our neighborhood association presidents in their communities at their meetings. And the leadership would come in where I would inspire you. Servant leadership, not just to be up front and center, but serving you, inspiring you, encouraging you to engage and to plug into the political process, whereby you start to now know that you own this joint. You don't ask me for anything. You don't thank me for anything. You tell me what you want, when you want it, and how you want it. That's what citizen engagement and getting government back to the people, taking politics out the back porch and putting them on the front porch. Transparency, honesty, right? And we have very little of that going on under the Gold Dome, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute, so stay with us. But before I close, I want to give each of these coaches an opportunity to say how you can join their team and how they will engage and participate as volunteers. We'll start with you, Coach Rhodes.
Savannah Royal Lions, we are a family. So if you are family driven, if you have passion, love, it has to come from the heart. It has to be genuine. But if that's you who I'm talking to right now, you're more than welcome. My number is 912-306-5573. Also, we have a website. It's www.savannahroyallions.org. Check us out. Like I said, we're a family. We love each other. We love on each other, and we work together. And you know, every family, you know, nothing is perfect. But guess what? We're gonna work it out. That's what we do. So we work it out. And if you want to join us, please. And also too, we're going to have a End the Gun Violence rally. It's going to be November the 16th at 5:30. It's going to be at Memorial Stadium on the visitor side parking lot. Why don't you come? Invite somebody. Tell them to come out, because guess what? We're gonna have some speakers. We're gonna have some songs. We're gonna have some great events, some things going on. We need to educate people on what crime, what gun violence do, and how it affects families. People need to see it. They need to hear it from the people who it affect. So guess what? Come and join us. Come on out. We're going to sing together. We're going to pray together. We're just going to have a awesome time with each other and allow people to give you their testimonies on gun violence and also too on how it affect them. That's very important. We need to know that. We need to know that. So look, if you want to join, my number again, like I said, 912-306-5573. We do basketball, football, baseball, and track and field. We also do outreach events. We do trash pickup. We do free lawn care for seniors. We do a lot of things with our kids, and we involve the kids in doing it. And also, too, we do camping trips for the kids. Every year we go camping. We didn't go last year due to COVID, but this year, next year, 2022, we plan on doing another camping trip with our young men, with our young boys.
Thank you so much, Coach Todd, for sharing that. All of that sounds so good. And we appreciate all that you do. And again, these coaches are doing this out of the kindness of their hearts. And as Coach C said, they almost have to pay to coach themselves. So we appreciate you, sir. We honor you. Listen, Coach C, I think, lost his connection. So, Ms. Martin, can you tell us how people can get involved with Coach C's team and who they are? Oh, he's back.
Oh,
He's back. You made it back just in time, Coach C. We were just throwing to you. Coach Todd told us about his team and how people can get involved, and we want you to do the same, sir.
Okay, as I stated earlier, it's a Southwest Georgetown Youth Organization located in the Southwest area and the Georgetown area of the city of Savannah and Chatham County. I can be reached at 912-220-8046. You can follow us on Facebook at Southwest Georgetown, Southwest Georgetown Youth Organization, and that is Inc. That's INC now. We're changing that over to Inc. Or you can email us at Southwest.Georgia number of programs that we actually offer. So I'm sure that if you have a need, I'm sure it's something that we have in our program to take care of that. One thing I did start, I'm more on the home school sector now because I do have a son, my 17-year-old son, who's been homeschooled since he's been in, I want to say the third grade. So I've been involved in the past few years in the homeschool sector, being that he was involved in the homeschool sector, and it's been a few programs that I've been launching over the past 4 months, and that's going real well. So just because you're a homeschool student doesn't mean that you have to miss out on anything. You can still have your opportunity to play your sports, to come out and interact with other children of your age and your peers. You still have the opportunity to do that. So as I stated again, I can be reached at 912-220-8046, or you can email us at southwest.georgetown@gmail.com. Let's grow Seahawks.
Sounds like a challenge, guys. Listen, you were breaking up a little bit, Coach C, but I would like for you and Coach Todd, just for good measure, to put your information, your contact information in the chat.
Okay.
Ms. Martin, you want to close out and let us know how people can get involved with the coalition if they are a team. You are looking for members of the coalition as well. And we just want to say, we want to put this disclaimer out there. We were represented today by a fraction of the teams, but we want everybody to know that all teams are invited to be a part of this effort, this initiative, and be benefactors of the resources where the city of Savannah will be providing support. And this is not a bottomless pit or a free-for-all, but this will be a dedicated program sponsored by the city of Savannah, whereby we will be taking greater responsibility in undergirding our local Little League teams. Go ahead, Ms. Martin.
well, thank you, Alderwoman Carter. First, we want to say thank you everybody who has already participated, because we want you to know you don't have to just be a team to come in and participate and to offer your time, talent, and services to the coalition of the Savannah United Youth Leaders. Whatever you have to offer, we welcome you and we wish that you would come out and help us support this initiative for our children. Now, we are calling on some teams. And so, since we on Candidly Kesha tonight, I hope that she don't mind me calling out the teams that I really want to hear from.
I don't. I don't. Go ahead. Have your
If
way.
you
Have your way.
if you don't mind, we would love to hear from the Carver Heights Stallions, the Seaport Steelers, the West Side Whippers, the Chatham Chargers,
West Side
the
Whippers right here,
Bears.
baby.
Eagles.
I got you.
All right, if you hear it, if your name called, call it out.
Yep, West Side Whippers.
River Boys, Fernwood Falcons, the Windsor Forest Knights, Off the Grill Pit Bull, Savannah Warriors, and the Habersham Patriots. Now, that's just a few, but if you have a team and it was not on that list, please, you guys, contact us, reach out. Let us all be a part of something that's going to make a difference for our entire community. We appreciate you guys, and it's nothing but love.
Now, listen, I didn't hear Savannah Stars. My son played for Savannah Stars.
They already reached out. That's why I didn't have to
Oh,
call
okay,
them out.
okay,
See, they
okay. I'm
already on the
just,
list. They already on the list. Everybody who already on the list, your
I
name
just,
wasn't called. But
I
if your
just
name
want
was
to
called, we
check.
ain't heard from you yet.
All right. Well,
She
listen,
made
thank
that real clear.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. That's right. Listen, you guys have been wonderful. It was really nice spending time with you. I feel like I've been with you all day. Had coffee with you. Now I'm having dinner with you. And listen, we're going to continue to advocate. Everything does not have to be a fight, but we're going to continue to advocate and provide support in every way that we can. And it's using this platform, using our voices. And we want everyone who has been a part of this tonight, we want all of you. This isn't about me. This isn't about Alderwoman Blakely. It isn't about Alderwoman Lanier. We were just a catalyst to get this to the table. We want you all to rely on your other district older persons. So pick up the phone and call them and say you support youth sports, what district you live in, and tell them that you want them to support youth sports too. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Now we're going to say goodbye to you guys, but we are going to ask our listeners to kind of stick around a little bit for some Gold Dome Chronicles. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
good night.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Good night.
Good night.
Can you just stick around without being on? How do I get back?
Yes, I think he can have you in the waiting room. Yes. Listen, listen, listen. Savannah, Savannah, Savannah. Lord have mercy. Somebody say, Jesus. I know we all have our different religions, our different guides. Different spiritual advisors, different people we listen to. We go to different churches. Y'all, we need Jesus. We need Jesus. He's the only help I know. Listen, 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 listen. So I want to say this to the Stillwell Towers residents. We are still working. I know you only have one elevator working in that whole 20-story building. Um, that was my coach that just came home, y'all. I have a coach too. Um, he doesn't coach any of the little league teams. He's not involved in that. So there's no quid pro quo. Alderwoman Gibson Carter don't play that. Listen, Stillwell Towers. Stillwell Towers and Gold Dome Chronicles. Stillwell Towers, I am not letting go. I have not been as passionate about anything on council since the weeping time. And I'm still very passionate about helping to preserve that land. And speaking of the weeping time, we will never ever be able to say weeping time without mentioning Reverend Dr. Leonard Small. And we are continuously in prayer for his peaceful rest as he gird up and get ready for the next round. We're so grateful that he's doing very well and anxiously await his return. So we ask that you keep him in your prayers. But listen, y'all, listen. Juice, how much time do I have? I know you're going to cut me off pretty soon. I don't know where to start. I do want to say to Stillwell residents, I hear you. The multiple complaints, the accounts of your living conditions break my heart. I got the video of the party downstairs over the weekend. I hear you about the mole. I hear you about waiting for the elevator 15 to 20 minutes. I hear you about the bugs. I hear you about all of the elements that are not affording you an opportunity to live in harmony. And so I've asked our city manager for a report. I didn't get everything I asked for, but I got a report because I asked for the number of citations and code violations of that building. Because guess what? That matters. Stillwell Towers is owned by the Housing Authority of Savannah. So my question is, what responsibility does the city of Savannah have in assuring that the authority of the housing division of Savannah is compliant with our city codes, right? Because if code compliance come and find you for blighted homes, if your grass is overgrown, if you have a car parked on the street for too many days and it's not moved, code compliance will fine you for a number of things. If you do home renovations on your house or your fence at a certain cost or a certain level, you may violate a code and you're going to get cited. So surely in my mind, I'm thinking there must at some point have been some document with all of these complaints that I've been getting, like where are the code violations and what has been done as a result of those code violations. So you all should know that I asked for this information almost 2 weeks ago. Didn't get it. But what I did get is a report from our esteemed fire department who has an ISS 01 rating. I think I have those letters in the number right. That is one of the highest ratings that a fire department can get. And we have it right here in Savannah, Georgia. Prayerfully, we never need their services. Emergency services, that is. I want to tell all of you that our fire department offers free services to install smoke detectors. That's right. You can call our fire department. They will come out and install a free smoke detector in your home. Yes, we are in the season where the greatest number of fires occur. So we want to make sure that we are taking all those steps necessary to be safe. For me, this report was not really what I was looking for. It's an incident type report from 2017 to 2021. And it gives incident types from fires, rescue and emergency medical service, hazardous conditions, no fire, service calls. Oh, that's another thing. They are planning in real time to remove the drawstrings from they call them something else. It's not a drawstring. They call them, it's when you are in distress or you need assistance. You pull the string in your apartment and help comes. Well, they're getting ready to do away with all of those because they say that people should be able to get help on their own. So that's another thing. Yeah, they are planning to rid all of the apartments of the strings. Okay, so this report here, total calls for 2017 through 2021 between all of those areas, which also includes false alarms and good intent calls. For 2021, it was 132 calls. For 2020, 2017, I guess that was. 2017, 132 calls. 2021, is it? 22 calls. 2020, 23 calls. 2019, 29 calls. 2018, 27 calls in all those various areas I mentioned. And 2017, 31 calls. So I think the 132 was a compilation of 2017 through 2021. Okay. It's good to know call type and what the calls were for. That's fine. That's good. That's good information to have. But my question was, where are the code violations? Because surely by now, in a building where there are nearly 200 people and one working elevator for a period of 2 weeks, that has to be against somebody's code. In addition, we also have the extra added dynamic. No one has been able to explain this to me, that people are living who cannot walk on floors beyond the first floor. It's 20 stories in the building. So if you can't walk, you're in an elevator and a fire breaks out, how do you get out when they tell you don't use the elevator if there's a fire? Nobody thought of that. So one of the explanations somebody gave me was that the building is mostly fire retardant and the doors and the walls are sealed so the fire won't be able to get through. So smoke can't get through? Like, it's not funny. You're on the 6th floor, 16th floor, 14th floor, fire breaks out. I'm in a wheelchair. How am I going to get out? She explained that the fire department would take people out through the windows. Let that sink in. So, Stillwell residents, I have reported this, and not anonymously. I'm letting the world know. I've reported this to the Department of Housing and Urban Development. I did. Because if our locality is not going to do anything about this, the United States government needs to do something about it. In addition, I have requested a summit of sorts of this executive director and the board members who are responsive to the city of Savannah. By the way, board members, you should know, who were unilaterally handpicked and appointed by the mayor. Now, every board since I have been on council, the entire council participates in selecting and voting individuals in, except for this board. The entire housing authority was only led by a board of 3 people when I entered local government. 3 people. 3 people. So during the whole weeping time fight, we learned that the mayor, Van Johnson, unilaterally, once again, on his own, appointed 2 members of the board for the housing authority. One member being his friend and a person who worked on his campaign. How much accountability can we really trust is going to happen there? But I trust that those individuals will still exhibit and exercise professionalism and do the right thing, despite how they got on the board. That's our hope. So in the weeks, days to week to come, it is my hope that we will, as a council, hear from the housing authority as to how much longer do these people have to wait to have the elevators fixed in the building? When and how will these other exceptional issues that have been acknowledged will be addressed? Okay, that's still well. Now, you all know, who have been following and watching, that I had a huge issue with the fact that the mayor once again decided that he was going to renovate his office. And I just happened to be going to City Hall, taking care of business on behalf of constituents, and just saw that his office was being renovated. He'd moved out of his office into the space that was designated for council members, which we don't actually have. So I was going live because I was doing a video diary of sorts of City Hall, showing people who do not have the opportunity to come downtown. Remember, serve it, right? I was making myself accessible. I was making the building accessible to you via social media. And I stumbled upon an office he was in, and I asked him the question on my live video: where did the funds come from to renovate your office? Did we approve this? I never got a response regarding the approval, but from where I'm from, in local government, city council has to approve anything over $25,000. The city manager then has to give us a report every month of everything he spent under $25,000. That's how you keep government honest, right? That's a good policy. But in this regard, I don't ever recall having a discussion, a workshop, a meeting, or seeing an agenda item where we were renovating the mayor's office, notwithstanding that I thought the office was quite beautiful. It was fun. Nice carpet, furniture. And I showed folks on my video that if any place needed to be renovated, you should start in the basement where staff goes for their lunch, in the break room. Or maybe the ladies' bathroom, which I would never ever use. It's awful. Or how about this? What about chambers? The most important room under the gold dome. That's where all the work gets done. That's the people's house, the chambers. It's where the meetings happen. It's where we welcome our guests, offer resolutions, pass ordinances, have public hearings, right? No, you decide that, one, you answered one of my questions and you told me that the money came from SPLOST 7. So you know me, I inquire about the SPLOST 7 budget. I want to know how much money was left in it. He said it came from SPLOST 7 from historic preservation funds. This is what the mayor told me, Van Johnson. So I never received an answer related to how much the renovations cost and who approved it and where the funds came from. So I did an open records request. I didn't get the information because our budget person, Melissa Carter, as she often does, returned the information in a very convoluted format where it was just buried in a whole bunch of stuff about this thick. That's okay. So fast forward, we get to our fourth city manager, Mr. Lloyd, I think. He's serving as interim. And it just so happened that a door opens and I can ask him the question. Maybe I'll get my answer since we're live on TV. People don't generally lie when it's live. You have to go back and watch. But I didn't get my answer. Between Van Johnson and Heath Lloyd, they kind of bantered back and forth, didn't answer my question. And I just said, okay, just give me the report. Heath Lloyd stated that he would give me the report before the end of the meeting. The end of the meeting came. I never got the report. So I reminded him that I needed the information, sir. I didn't get it. Fast forward, I do an open records request. Again, I expressed to you what that turned into. We have a new manager, a new city manager. Let's try this again. Mr. Melder, sir, may I please get this information? Took a little bit of time, but I got it, finally. This is the Breaking Gold Dome Chronicles, y'all. This is what I get. Let's see. My glasses are broken here. First, I get this 2-page response to my question regarding City Hall renovations. Now, mind you, I only asked about the second floor mayor's office, but I got information related to the third floor. I got information related to another floor. No, just this one. And this was the last information that was offered in the report. The work on the second floor involved a refresh of the mayor's suite, one of the most architecturally significant spaces in City Hall. Now, I told you the most significant space in City Hall was chambers. You decide. With its vaulted ceiling, original brass chandelier, and detailed woodwork, the mayor's suite includes the mayor's office, support staff space, meeting space, and the reception area. I would say with original brass, vaulted ceiling, chandelier, and detailed woodwork, it doesn't sound like it needs much. It sounds beautiful. It sounds like it's aesthetic to the historic building, right? The work was focused on curing deferred maintenance and obsolescence, including decades-old carpet, inefficient and worn cubicles, broken HVAC units, and defrayed furnishings. The cost for the work was $83,785. $83,785, and again was funded through the facilities maintenance operating account. That doesn't sound like SPLOST 7 to me. Facilities maintenance operating account comes from our general fund. The work included the mayor's suite renovation work schedule, paint and wall repairs, $13,450, carpet, $8,175, window shades, $4,541, electrical, $2,019, HVAC, $13,960, plumbing, $1,027, office furniture and furnishings, $15,219, and walls, just says walls. That's all, y'all, walls. $25,394 for a subtotal of $83,785. Renovation and upkeep of City Hall, the people's business, is an important responsibility. So I never got the RFP that went out for the work. because when you do work for the city of Savannah, you have to put out a request for bids. People who are registered with the city of Savannah return proposals for these bids, and you get the work based on your bid. We don't have that. That process probably wasn't followed here either. And then I want to know who the vendors were. Were the vendors MWBEs, WBEs? Were any of those processes followed, right? So again, there is this consistent theme under the Gold Dome that when certain people want certain things, they get it. But when the people, particularly those who are among our vulnerable communities, when they want something, it's we got to find the money. It's not in the budget. We can't do that. No, the same energy, 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 the same energy we use, because you know what? For me, the act is wrong. The act is wrong. The act is dead wrong. But for me, it's the cover up. It's the cover up. The cover up to me is worse than the act, because what this says is there is a culture. And this basically just proved my suspicions about how we handle business in our practices under the Gold Dome. If you do this here, what more must you be doing? You cannot be trusted. This is our MO, y'all. This is why there's so much hell under the Gold Dome. My spirit can't take this. It's the cover up. 83,000. If one person is able to use $83,785 of your taxpayer, this is your money, y'all. This is your money. You have a say in how this money is spent. Would you have wanted the mayor's office to be renovated? Or would you have wanted some equipment for those little league coaches? And he was the first person to say, let's wait. Why didn't you wait on the renovations to your office? But you won't hear a news story on this. No, you won't hear this on WSAV, TOC, JCL. Savannah Morning News won't cover this. Only ATR. You're only going to hear the truth here at ATR. You know why? Because they're all in bed together, and they don't provide coverage for the community. They provide cover for the establishment and for foolishness like this. And that's why teams like the ones that you just were introduced to tonight can't do what they need to do. And that's why our babies are dying on the streets of Savannah, because our priorities are mixed up. Our priorities are mixed up. So that's the news that you can use. And however you want to use it, I ask that you use it in a way in which you hold this government accountable. You question everything. Let's see if Lou Phelps got something to say about this. She had something to say about everything else. I guess that hurt dog has died. Y'all have a good night. I love you, Savannah.